This episode of the Young Turks brought to you by GoToMeeting. Online meetings made easy.
Get a free trial at GoToMeeting.com, click on the Try It Free button, and enter the promo code TURKS.
Let me give you just one cut that Republicans have proposed recently. So we've been telling you about how, of course, they're protecting, the rich, etc., and they refuse to do any tax cuts. We just gave you quotes from Boehner and McConnell saying, they refuse to do any tax increases. Boehner and McConnell saying that. Here's one cut that the Republicans have proposed. It is $156 million for the Centers for Disease Control. They would be cutting funding for immunization and respiratory diseases. Winning. Now, anybody can see that might be fairly disastrous, right? Because here's the thing about disease. It spreads. Like they think, poor people get sick. Who cares? Got it. I don't know if you know this, but disease doesn't know the difference between a poor guy, a middle-class guy, and a rich guy. I'm sure they think their ass is protected and they're going to be just fine. But it's a terrible idea for all of us, right? And speaking of which, in California, apparently we have experienced the worst whooping cough outbreak in the last 50 years. 10 infants have already died, and 6,400 reported cases are out there in California, okay? So now Governor Schwarzenegger had already cut some of the funding in this area. I don't know if the funding related to the whooping cough outbreak. I do know that cutting funding, whether it's at the California level or at the federal level, is not good in the middle of an outbreak and could be problematic if we have more outbreaks. And this is not where I would do the cuts. And by the way, Ezra Klein wrote a good piece about this, and not this specifically, but his piece overall was like sometimes some spending cuts actually wind up costing you more money. Now, this is a great example of it, because if you have a larger outbreak, the government's going to have to respond anyway. They're just going to have to spend 10 times as much money or maybe 100 times as much money trying to contain the damage, which they could have contained if they'd spent the money in the first place preventing it, right? And Ezra points out other places where so-called spending cuts don't help. For example, with the IRS. For every dollar of enforcement at the IRS, you get back $10 of revenue from tax cheats, okay? These are people who are totally avoiding their taxes. When you spend $1 to go chase them, you get $10 back in revenue. So when you cut the IRS, which is what the Republicans are planning to do, you're actually going to lose 10 times as much revenue. Now, that makes no sense if you care about balancing the budget. But it does make sense if you care about protecting tax cheats. Now, remember, a lot of the rich and the corporations have offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands. They're the ones doing, as they would call it, tax avoidance. So, of course, they send in the Republicans to say, hey, you know what? Get that IRS off our back. We're not too happy about that. So they feed the Republicans money. The Republicans then turn around, cut funding for the IRS, and the tax cheats keep avoiding paying their taxes. And so where do the taxes fall then? On us, the rest of us, to cover the tab, because you and I can't afford offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands. We don't have the fancy accountants and lawyers. And that's how we get screwed. So these spending cuts, I don't even think they're a penny wise. But if they're a penny wise, they're definitely a pound foolish.
And these days, everybody's in different offices in different cities. The one way you can all get together is GoToMeeting.com. You're all online at the same time.
Right, and it's super easy. All you need is a computer, internet connection, 2 minutes, boom, you're set up.
You can share documents. A guy puts up a document in Miami, the other one sees it in San Francisco. You can, in fact, amend it. You can do sales presentations, very convenient.
Get a free trial at GoToMeeting.com, click on the Try It Free button, and enter the promo code TURKS.
Go.